What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a great week. I want to ask you guys a question. Have you ever been driving down the road and you have a car in front of you and all of a sudden they put on their turn signal, start to slow down, come up to an intersection or a turn, and then they turn their turn signal off and speed up. And then they do it again. Then they do it again. And you're sitting in your car and you're like, would you just make a decision? And sometimes I feel that's kind of how Christians are. We make a decision to release our faith. We believe in our heart, confess with our mouths, we release it. But from the point of believe that you receive to the point that there it is, there could be a gap or window. And sometimes Christians have become hesitant. Or am I doing the right thing? Did I say the right thing? Should I, going through all that. We need to make sure that we are anchored in what we just believe for when we released it. Because, when I leave, if I'm going from destination A to destination B, I am focused on B. I want to keep that picture as clear as possible so then I know where I'm going. But you also use that from a faith perspective to keep the picture clear so then faith knows exactly what is the end result. And a great example of that is the story of Lazarus being raised from the dead. In John 11, it says this, John 11:3 says this, "Therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick." And when Jesus heard that, I love that. When the word heard that, he said, the word responded, "This sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby." I want you to think about that. The word responded to the situation and made a decree on what's going to happen. Now, think about the story. It was roughly like 4 days from the point that Jesus received this information to the point when Jesus was standing in front of the tomb. In 4 days, there's a lot of things that can occur. You can have situations, circumstances, conversations, or whatever. And whatever those things are that come in within that time frame can try to get you off of what you are believing that you've already received maybe days prior. And even in John 11:11, where the disciples were talking to Jesus, going back and forth, and they say, well, if Lazarus is sleeping, of course I'm paraphrasing, then he is well. And then Jesus had to break it down to them. And if you read the King James, it said in verse 14, it said that Lazarus is dead. But if you look at the interlinear Greek English New Testament, they translated the word dead to died. And if you look at those two words, dead is like more past tense, died is present tense. I've had people die in front of me. And another great example of that is the fact that Jesus died, but he ain't dead. Ain't that an awesome thing? So I want you to think about that. So when he explained it to him, then he showed up in verse John 11:41. He said this, standing in front of the tomb. They rolled the rock away. And he said, Jesus said, "Father, I thank you that thou hast heard me." Heard me when? 4 days prior. See, he never changed his confession. He already knew what was going to happen. He already knew what was going to happen. And not only that, he believed and confessed it, decreed. You got to think about when you believe and you release words, you are putting those words on a mission. And what was interesting is that when Jesus showed up, I truly believe faith was standing at the rock waiting for Jesus to show up. So then he can actually, bring in Matthew 18:19, where you have the binding and loosing. He loosed Lazarus from the dead. The faith was right there to bring it to pass because Jesus didn't change what he spoke 4 days prior. He was focused on that. And that's where we need to be. When we believe in our heart and confess with our mouth, that's it. And our confession from that point or decree is consistent all the way there. No matter what circumstance or situation the enemy tries to bring to you, you constantly remind that situation of exactly what you released on whatever day you released it on. So think about this. There may be situations in your life that may have appeared to have died. But now, if you haven't changed and you still believe in your heart, you need to continue to walk with the expectancy of having the end result that you released days prior, hours prior, whatever it is. It's time for us to use that faith to put him to work so we can bring to pass the promises that Jesus paid for. I hope you guys have a great week. I really appreciate your guys' time. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thanks.